I'm sorry. Every morning, Scribble and Swoop met halfway at the bend in the river. There never were two greater friends in all of Walnut Wood. Scribble always brought his special pencil. It helps me find the right words for my plays, he said. And when each play was written, he called to Swoop, and the show began. Swoop laughed and cried and cheered for more. Swoop also had her own special thing, a box that never left her side. Tucked beneath its lid were spanners and screws and scraps of wood. Everything an owl needs to make stuff, she smiled. There was nothing she could not build. But Scribble and Swoop walked for each day to meet at the bend in the river. Why don't we find a home we can share? Said Scribble one morning. Swoop knew just the place. There was room for two and a little left over. The perfect home for two best friends, said Swoop with a happy hoot. When all was unpacked, they sat in the shade of their beautiful veranda. The breeze whispered, the bees bumbled, and that's when Scribble had his great idea. This is the ideal place to perform my plays, he thought. A theater. But Swoop was lost in thoughts of her own. Plenty of daylight and room for my tools. A workshop just for me. Even best friends don't always think alike. The very next day, Scribble woke early and scurried straight to the veranda. The world's greatest theater, he announced, hoisting up the curtains. He didn't see Swoop shuffle in with her special box of tools. There was a hoot, a rip, and a clatter-bang crash. Even the bees stopped bumbling. The two friends glared. "Get that stuff off my stage!" shouted Scribble. "Your stage? Since when?" scoffed Swoop. "This veranda is mine." "No, mine!" Scribble snapped. Then, scrolling and muttering, they both marched off to sulk. Swoop had never felt so furious. She gathered Scribble's tattered curtains and fixed them up with big angry stitches. "Sorted!" she huffed and flung them over a branch. Then she called to Scribble. "Do your plays over here," she hissed, "and not on my veranda." But now Swoop felt a little sad, for no amount of stitches could fix her friend's hurt feelings. The hours passed, the bees bumbled, and all the while Scribble fumed. "I've never known an owl so rude," he growled, but already he missed his friend. Scribble picked up his special pencil. Time after time, it had helped him find the perfect word, made problems disappear. But what word could ever put this right? And then Scribble found it, the perfect word. "I'll sort this once and for all," he declared. Scribble stumped up to Swoop, took a huge breath, and yelled, "Sorry!" But sorry is not a magic word. It only works if you mean it. "You are not sorry at all," replied Swoop. And it was true, he wasn't. The word hadn't worked, and now Scribble was more cross than ever. "Rubbish, useless pencil!" he cried, and snapped the thing in two. At once he guessed at what he'd done. Then came a sob that shook him from whiskers to tail. Swoop's heart slumped with sorrow. "Scribble, I'm sorry," she whispered. "The veranda wasn't mine to take. I ruined your curtains and hurt your feelings. But I've been just as mean," wailed Scribble. "I never asked if I could build a theater." Then Swoop took a step towards her friend, and the hug they shared was enough for two with a little left over. "From now on," said Swoop, "let's always make our plans together." So Scribble picked up the spanners and screws and every last scrap of wood, and Swoop fixed Scribble's pencil so that the angry snap was just a memory. Scribble and Swoop always remember that sorry only works if you mean it. And as for the veranda, they agreed to share it, a place for writing in the morning, a place for making in the afternoon. And every evening, when the sun went down, it was a theater for two best friends.